Hi guys, Shaky Nan again. If you watched my last video, it was about events that I had coming up this week, and also going to the hairdressers the day before, and how ET can rule our thinking with everything we've got to do. You know, to go to the hairdressers is an ordeal, to go to the doctors is an ordeal, to go to the dentist is an ordeal because of our ET thinking, or our little ET man on our shoulder that tells us, you can't do that, you can't go to those places, you're going to be shaking bad. And we build ourselves up so bad to be able to go to these places that we're shaking so much before we even step out the door of our own house. On the weekend, on Saturday night, I told you we had an INXS tribute band night to go to. And I was very worried and concerned even on Friday, and very anxious because of the fact that we were going out with new friends that we hadn't been out with before, and also we were going to be eating with them before dinner, before the show. I built myself up that I was a nervous wreck before I left the house. You know, and these people, they know about Shaky Nan. It was okay to have dinner with them. They knew I was going to be shaking. I wasn't going to have to hide it at all. But it's still that ET little man on your shoulder, just, you're going to be shaking. I'm going to have you that night. You're going to be mine. You know, it's all about, I don't know why we can't shut that up. It's just, when we end up going to these events, it's nowhere near as bad as what we think. You know, we went to the pub first. It was only in our town, the event. We went to the pub first. They were a bit late turning up, so we ate just as they were turning up. So that was okay. They saw me eating. I picked just salt and pepper calamari. I'm always thinking ahead, so I sat at the end of the table so I didn't have to sit next to anyone, which made them notice me more. In the end, they were all talking across the table to each other. It didn't matter. I sat at the end of the table, but I sat more towards Shane. Your ET thinking, it's always ruling your night. I got salt and pepper calamari that I could cut up and just pick up with my fingers and eat, thinking again with the ET. When we went to the nightclub, or not the nightclub, the bowling club where the event was on, I sat at the end of the table so I didn't have to get into the big conversations. I've never liked having conversations with people, because the longer you have to have a conversation with people, the more you're shaking. Your ET's always thinking, you know, your ET thinking's always thinking of that. Oh, please don't come and talk to me. I'm shaking already. If you stand here, I'm going to start shaking more. My whole body's going to go. It's always our ET thinking first. At the event on Saturday night, I went to the toilet and I was out washing my hands. And a lady, beautiful lady beside me, was washing her hands, and she said to me, "You look familiar." And I said to her, "Do you watch Shaky Nan?" And she said, "Oh my God, it's you. Oh, we've got to have a dance later." So before we left, I said to Shane, I've got to go and find my friend and have a dance. And we did. You know, that made me feel so much better. And that was at the beginning of the night then too. I knew there were other people in the room that knew Shaky Nan. I was okay. I was drinking also, which does slow my tremors down, but not enough in events like that. I still shake a little, but I felt okay. So all that build up, I was okay. I got through it, and it was a great night, and I had fun. Today, this morning, we've had the funeral. That was tough, but once again, my ET thinking. I went by myself. Shane couldn't come with me. I drove myself. I walked in by myself, and I walked in between a couple of couples with my ET thinking. If I walk in between them, they'll be talking, because when you walk in, you've got to sign the book. I took a deep breath, stationed my arm, bent down really close on the table, was able to write my name because no one was around me watching. I sat right at the back because I knew I was going to be shaking a lot. I sat right at the back because I was by myself. I didn't have to sit with anyone. There were a lot of people there I didn't know, which made it easier. And then when friends walked in that did know, they sat with me, which made it easier as well. It was tough. It was emotional just because, you know, he was only 47 and a very unexpected heart attack. We're at those ages, and that's just very worrying. And it was very troubling as well with our own personal life. The other morning, a few weeks ago, months ago, Shane woke up one morning not feeling well, and I had to call the ambulance. I sat there thinking that could have been us. He's been checked out, he's fine, it was nothing, just a bit of angina or reflux or indigestion. But, you know, it made me think. We're at those ages. It's time to really look after ourselves. But it's more about, sorry I got off the track there, but yeah, please, we've all got to look after ourselves. So my ET thinking controls coming up to events, at the event, walking into the event and at the event. And I can't stop that. I don't know how to stop that. You're always thinking about your shaking first. One day we've got to stop that, and then our lives will be a lot easier. It's the ET thinking that makes us shake a lot more. Tell me how yous get over that. I don't think any of us can. But we will. We will. You know, we've got to get our lives back. Remember my saying from the other week. If nothing changes, nothing changes. We've got to push ourselves. We've got to shut that little ET man up somehow. One day. All right, guys. Love you all. Take care. Please stay safe in this crazy world at the moment. Love you all. I will see you all on Friday. Bye, guys.